Welcome to Finding Joy Over 50. I am exploring how we can find joy every day in our lives after the age of 50. The reason I'm focusing on 50, for one reason, is that I'm 59, soon to be 60. And I've noticed that there's a lot of things in life at this stage that have changed with our kids, financially, with our jobs, with our friends. So it's sometimes difficult to find joy at this point in our lives. So hopefully you can come along with me and explore how to find joy every day after the age of 50. Now, if you're not over 50 or 50 years old, you might find something useful in this channel as well. And we all need to find some joy in our lives. Anyway, welcome. And today I wanted to talk about just a few things that have brought me joy this week. One is that it's a holiday week, and I should say a holiday weekend, and so I got an extra day off work this week, and that brought me a significant amount of joy once I realized that it was a 3-day weekend. So that was exciting. Also, I've been getting out for walks and enjoying the beauty that our Southern California weather has given us. It has been probably low to high 80s, which isn't too bad. It hasn't been humid. It's been really nice. So that's something I found joy in this week. The other thing is that our gas prices in California have come down just a wee bit, under $5. So I think it was $4.99 that I paid a few days ago. And although that seems astronomical to some people, in California, it's a huge win. I'd like to see it go down $1 to make most of us happy. Anyway, that is what gave me joy that comes to mind this week. Will you share with me and tell me the things in your life that you found joy this week? I am also looking to get a new camera, so hopefully my sound quality and my audio video quality will improve in the next coming weeks. I had some challenges. I ordered the wrong phone, so that did not bring me joy, and had to return it. So now I'm just waiting for that to reset so I can order my new phone that I need. I'm old and I need to have a larger phone. So I didn't order the Pro Max that I needed to order. So when I get that phone, that's going to be a huge win for me next week. I was featured on an interview for a YouTube channel called The Downsizing, and if you follow GLP1 weight loss, you might be familiar with Lorraine and Christopher. They're wonderful. They do interviews for people that are on a GLP1 to share our stories, and I was very grateful to be featured on their channel. Now, there were a lot of really great things that came from that. I love speaking with them and being a part of that and hoping to share my story a little bit with someone that might help. I might be able to help in the weight loss journey, but unfortunately I was very nervous and I overtalked a bit. So I felt bad because I think that I talked over Lorraine a little bit. I need to work on my interviewing. I'm not good at apparently getting questions asked to me. They did give me the questions ahead of time, and so I kind of jumped through them, and looking at some self-discovery, I should have slowed it down and not overshared or talked too much without the questions being asked. So it was a little embarrassing, but to be honest, I thought it was a great interview and I was really grateful to be a part of it. So a couple of things that came out of that interview, excuse me. It's also allergy season here. So my dog and I are both having allergies this week. So please bear with me. So basically, Lorraine had made some really good observations about my eating and was concerned about me not getting enough calories in, and that might be why I sometimes stall at my weight loss. Although I do believe that that is true, that sometimes maybe I don't eat enough and then that I will stall and I'll have to eat a little bit more. I'm very, very aware of that within my body. So I did want to address some of those concerns that she brought up. There were a few comments made as well on the video podcast, kind of indicating the same thing. So I did want to kind of address the eating that I'm doing a little bit, go through a couple regular days, and also talk about the protein I'm getting in and all that. So the reason that I was on the podcast was I've lost 136 pounds. It's taken me a couple of years so far. I still have 50, 70-ish to go. So it is a constant battle in my life, but I am very pleased with the progress that I've had so far. Anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about those concerns. So here we go. I was pleased, like I said, to be on the podcast for losing 136 pounds and being able to share my challenges and my wins. So hopefully it will help other people as well. Okay, so like I said, some of the concerns were I wasn't getting enough calories in every day, and maybe I was not getting enough nutrition, but I want to assure you that I am. So I want to go through kind of what I'm eating, not every day, but I'll give you a couple of standard meals for me when I'm on the weight loss path. So if I eat carbs, like non-complex carbs, right? Like bread or pasta or rice, I really don't lose weight. I can maintain my weight, and that's been a huge win for me, is learning how to maintain a little better. But it's been really challenging for me to lose. The other thing that was a bit of a concern was the fact that I intermittent fast and don't always eat 3 meals a day. Now, I understand that for some people, that's just unheard of. They like to eat 3 meals a day, and sometimes it takes 3 meals a day to get all the protein in that we need. So I have been advised to eat between 100 and 120-ish grams of protein per day. I don't always make it every day, but I get as close as possible. I've been on a GLP1 for about 2 years, so I am on the max dose of Mounjaro, and it doesn't work as well as it used to with my appetite. Although I will say it does allow me to cut down on the food noise, as well as, not being able to stop and not eat a whole lot of food. Now, some days I wake up ravished and I will eat almost all my calories pretty early, but I do pretty much know what my calories are every day, so I don't write them down. I don't track them because I've been doing this forever, so I'm pretty skilled on knowing what I'm eating. However, sometimes the protein I do need to look at because I don't always eat the same thing and not sure if I'm getting all my protein in. So I wanted to give you some examples of that. So if you're interested in eating well, and specifically what I'm going to hit on is intermittent fasting, because that was a huge concern for people. They say, well, if you're not eating 3 meals a day, how do you get your protein in if you intermittent fast? Well, for me, I have done some research. I'm a big YouTube video watcher. I do watch a lot of experts, and I have seen that absolutely it is possible to eat healthy on a GLP-1 while intermittent fasting. So I don't intermittent fast. A lot of people, I think, intermittent fast in the morning, so they will not eat until 12 o'clock or lunchtime, and then they eat into their dinner and maybe a little beyond. For me, also, I don't lose weight when I do that. I can, again, maintain, and I've learned that will allow me to maintain. But if I really am needing to lose and hunker down and do the intermittent fasting, I need to do it on the end of the day. So I usually wake up pretty hungry in the morning. I have coffee with usually a good scoop of collagen of some sort and a little bit of lactate friendly milk, and that is, just so you guys know, I won't give you the calories for everything, but I'll tell you what my protein was at the end of the day. So but that this day is going to be, let's see, the first day typically it's 123 grams of protein and 1,300 calories. So I'm getting between 1,200 and 15 calories in per day. Oh, I did want to mention that I am not a doctor. I am not a medical professional. I am not a nutritionist. This is only sharing my journey, my experience, and hoping that it will help someone else. It's not about giving any kind of advice to anyone. Everybody has to do you. But if you're like me, I have started my channel and I have been on channels researching for years because I want to look at people like me. Give me ideas. I want ideas of how these things work. I want ideas of how intermittent fasting has helped them, maybe tips and tricks for stalls. So that's why I'm doing this. So maybe it'll help you, maybe it won't, but I'm here if you want to listen. So the first day, like I said, I started with my coffee with the collagen, a little bit of lactase-free milk. I'll typically have like 2 to 3 eggs. So if I have kind of a light meat day at the end of the day, I'll go with like 3 eggs in the morning. And then when I get to work, probably an hour in, which is usually around 9 or 10, I may have a can of tuna with, which is like 26 grams of protein. If you haven't looked at a can of tuna, it's crazy. So can of tuna with a little bit of mayo, and I'll probably sprinkle some flaxseed on that because I need to concentrate on my fiber. And also would do maybe like a lettuce wrap with that. So I would do some romaine slices and just put it in romaine lettuce and eat it that way. I may have an apple with that, maybe a couple ounces of cheese, something like that. So to try to make it a full meal, but I am trying to get my fiber in and also color into my diet for the polyphenols that exist in, high color vegetables and fruit, which are very good for our bodies. So I do lack a little in that area, but that's something that I've been working on. And then I would say that's kind of like, I guess, breakfast number 2, right? Or if you call it a snack. And then I would do maybe a half a pound of ground beef with some onions and some mixed veggies. I'm going to call it dinner, but it's not really dinner. It's like a 2 o'clock meal, 3 o'clock meal. And throughout the day, I'll be drinking water with electrolytes because I have found that when I do diet or cut calories, I need those electrolytes or I get really lightheaded. And that's something I've recently learned after being lightheaded for 3 months. So that day would be 123 grams and about 1,300 calories. Then another typical day would be I'd usually start the same way with the coffee and the eggs. And then I may have, for my mid-morning snack, I may have 3/4 to a full avocado with a little bit of salt on it. And then around 2 o'clock, I'd have my main final meal, which would be 2 chicken thighs with some olive oil and a green salad, maybe with olive oil and vinegar. And then water with electrolytes throughout the day, every day. And then at the end, maybe like around, maybe an hour later, I would have some chia seeds. So typically I'll put 2 teaspoons of chia seeds in like some lemon water flavored with stevia and lemon, and just let it kind of sit for a little while and then just drink it down. And that's fantastic fiber. So it helps you get the fiber and some protein in. That would typically be 110 grams of protein for that day. And actually that was a little higher calorie day because of the chicken thighs I ate too. So it would be 1,500 calories. So that would be a higher end of the calorie structure for me. I do find that if I vary it a little bit, do 1,200 one day or sometimes even 1,000, and then go up to 1,500 a day and then back down to 1,200, sometimes that breaks the stall as well. Just one more day, typical day for me. I might have, like the next day I woke up and I had the ground beef mixture that I had with the vegetables for breakfast, which I tend to like dinner foods for breakfast and breakfast foods for dinner, which is weird, but maybe it's because I stopped eating at 2 o'clock. I typically wake up pretty hungry at 7 o'clock. The coffee will sustain me for a little while. But so I jumped into my my beef dinner, breakfast that day. And then later in the day, let's see, I guess it was that day around 11 o'clock, I did have some pickled cucumbers, about 3 tiny little cucumbers, and I put some rice vinegar, balsamic, and maybe a tiny pinch of brown sugar, and I shake it up and I leave it in the fridge for days, and then I'll take it to work with me to eat. So I had some of that just because sometimes it's easier for me to get my vegetables in that way, because I'm not a huge salad eater and I'm not a great vegetable eater. So I have to find ways that just work for me. And I find that the pickled and the cucumber, they all really, really help my gut, which is making me healthier overall. And I can really feel it by the lack of reflux that I've been having lately. I used to have a huge problem. And now it's gotten better because I've increased my vinegar in my salad and also on my veggies. Okay, and then I'll have, again, water with electrolytes throughout the day, and I always try to get a sugar-free electrolyte. I may have some chia seeds again, just for extra fiber. So this day was a little lower on the protein. It was about 95 grams of protein and about 1,300 calories. So you can see that it varies a little bit, but one thing that I did want to bring up, because there was a concern about my lack of calories and nutrition, is I do use quite a bit of olive oil throughout the week. So whether it's cooking or on my vegetables or on my salad raw, I buy a pretty good quality olive oil, and I do consume that along with balsamic vinegar throughout the week. Now, don't forget, because I think people forget that sometimes, calories can come from what you're drinking. I mean, there's calories in my electrolytes. It's only 5 calories, but it's still calories. There is calories in the milk that I put in my coffee. I mean, my coffee with the electrolytes and with the milk and also the protein that I put in there for the collagen, I mean, it's 130 calories. So I'm getting the calories in there between the olive oil, the balsamic vinegar, which has a little bit more of the olive oil for cooking, and then also raw, as well as a coffee or other drinks that I may have throughout the day. There are hidden calories in all of that. If you go out, if I go out and have a salad, or I go out and have maybe a steak or a chicken or salmon, I try to eat salmon about once a week for the omega-3s advantages that can bring. And honestly, all of those things, if you're out eating, there are so many hidden calories that you don't know of. And they're using fat and they're using things to cook in. And yes, you can request to not do that, but I don't usually. I just try to order something that's a little bit more carb friendly. I don't do well eating carbs, so increasing my vegetables and my fruit has been a little bit of a challenge for me, but I am working on that. So anyway, I didn't want to go too much into what I do, because I would love for you to go and watch the downsized interview. I really loved it, and it was great to do, but I'll apologize now for over talking in the beginning too much. So be aware, I do have the gift of gab. So I have a lot to say, apparently. I need to talk. So thank you for understanding that. But I'd love for you to go watch that. I do believe it's linked on my page as a collaboration. I think it's gotten 2.5 thousand views already. So I'm excited. Most of the comments have been very positive. And I think people are just, I think we're all grateful for everything we can learn from everybody on this journey. So yes, I am down 136 pounds. I am very proud of it, but I do have a long way to go, and I have a long way to a lot of things more to learn about it. And so I'm always very open to it. Just one last thing that I wanted to mention is that with the intermittent fasting, because it did seem to be a concern for people, I think it's because people don't want to give up their dinners, to be honest. They don't want to give up their food at night. And I kind of understand that, because if you have a family to cook for or a husband and you like to sit down and have that meal at the end of the day, which is always a very nice family time, it's hard to give that up. And I don't have anybody in my life to worry about. It's just me. It's the dog. My son doesn't live with me. He's older now, and I just have me to worry about. So it makes it a lot easier for the first time in my life. So I get it if you're not able to do it, but I will tell you, if you're struggling, it would be really a great thing for you to try. And if you're over 50, like many of us are, you're going to see, in my opinion, more results if you do it in the evening than the morning. Now, everybody's body is different, so I have yo-yo dieted my entire life, and I have screwed up my metabolism. So that's probably part of it. I'm also on a thyroid medication. I'm also have had my gallbladder out. So all these things probably add to why my body responds the way, or doesn't respond to the way that it does. So oh my gosh, my allergies, sorry. So if you are, having some issues, maybe look at those things as well. But I do want to refer you to two people that are very well known on the internet that talk about intermittent fasting as being not just great for dieting or controlling maintenance, being able to maintain your weight, which I find intermittent fasting is great for. It's if I overdo it one day and I intermittent fast the next, I'm able to bounce right back. So I found that it works a very good tool for me. However, there are so many other health advantages that are being found out about intermittent fasting. Again, I am not a health professional, but a lot of people have stated in their research that it can help with Alzheimer's, it can help with heart disease, it can help with so many things. It helps with insulin resistance. I am recently considered a diabetic, so that also slows my weight down. So if you are, have an A1C of, I think it's 6.5 or greater, it could be slowing your weight loss. So intermittent fasting could be a tool for you. And you would get a lot of other health advantages as well by doing it. So again, you have to do you, but I have found it extremely helpful and a huge key for me in maintaining my weight, even if I overeat one day. And it's huge for my weight loss. But there have also been, Dr. Jason Chung is one of the people I wanted to refer you to. He does have a YouTube channel and discusses autophagy, which is the cleaning out of your cells, like your bad cells that clean out after 18 hours of fasting. So my intermittent fasting usually goes between 16 and 18 hours. So if I can hit the 18-hour mark, I really try to, because of all the things that he has said about the advantages. And also Dr. Eric Berg, who's a chiropractor, and I love all of his videos. He is a big keto guy and a huge person about intermittent fasting. He talks a lot about intermittent fasting and how much it's helped his health. He's had a lot of issues as well in his life. So anyway, those are two people I encourage you to check out. Please also check out The Downsized that I talked about earlier, where my interview was on. And I would encourage you to do your own research and make your own decisions, but hopefully some of what I've said has helped you. And also hopefully some of what I've said has, negated some of the concerns about my nutrition and health, although I was very grateful for people that mentioned that they were concerned. But I have done something right. I have definitely lost 136 pounds, and it has not just been because of the GLP drug. Don't think the GLP drug is going to be taken and the weight's going to fall off. It's going to take some work. Now, with some people, maybe it won't. But if you're like me and have challenges with your health and have insulin resistance, you may have some challenges. So hopefully something I've said will help today. Anyway, I hope that I brought you a little bit of joy. Please share with me the joy that you found this week. And I would love to hear if you've tried intermittent fasting and if it's helped you, and what your journey looks like. So thanks again for joining me today, and I hope to see you soon. I wish you all a beautiful day and lots of joy.